Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in baseball. First up, we got the Chicago Cubs taking on the Miami Marlins. We got Jameson Taillon and Ryan Weathers as the starters. The Cubs are a very popular team right now. They're a good team, winning record. I don't blame you if you want to go the other way, but I think the value lies with the Marlins in this game. They just played the same exact pitching matchup last week, and it was a 3-1 Marlins win. They were plus 195 on the money line at one point in that game, or going up into that game. And a nice 3-1 win as the underdog. And Weathers was excellent in his season debut. 5 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. He was also pitching well in his rehab starts in the minor leagues. While you got Jameson Taillon on the road here, he's given up 7 home runs his last 2 starts combined. 4 of them to the Mets and 3 of them to these Marlins in that last start. I got to roll with the Marlins in this one at a great price on the money line. Next up, we get the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We got Nick Martinez and Bailey Falter as the projected starters. Now, we did something we rarely do, and that was back the Reds with Nick Martinez as the starting pitcher in his last game against the Chicago White Sox. But that was a win. It was 7-1 for Cincinnati. They got the board early. Martinez, 7 scoreless innings. Only 3 strikeouts, but no walks. He was very sharp, but I'm back fading him in this spot. The Reds have still been miserable in Martinez starts this year, especially on the road, where he's not been the best this season with an ERA above 4, almost at 5, and the Reds are 0-4 this season in those starts. So, Bailey Falter, not great numbers against the current Reds lineup in their career matchups, that's for sure. Cincinnati's been the superior offensive team in the last month, but I think that the Pirates can get a few runs off of Nick Martinez. I think the Pirates bullpen can be competitive in this series, in this game. I'm going to roll the Pirates here and fade Martinez in this spot. Next up, we got the Atlanta Braves taking on the Washington Nationals. No official starter right now for Atlanta, but Mitchell Parker should be going for Washington. Now, Parker was a little bit unlucky, in my opinion, in his last start against these Braves. He had 6 strikeouts. He was pitching pretty well, didn't give up a home run, but got into some trouble in the middle innings and ended up leaving the game early after being hit with a line drive in a 5-4 Nationals win. They ended up winning the game, but it wasn't Parker's best start. He gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3, but he's got great numbers against his current Braves lineup in the career matchups. The Braves have not been anything special against lefties in the last month or in the month of May. I think that we'll have to see who the official starter is for Atlanta, but the Nationals we saw played very competitive baseball over the weekend in against the Orioles in the rivalry weekend series. They scored 20 runs in the last 2 games combined. I think the Nationals are going to be competitive in this game, in this series as well. I'm going to go with the Nats on the money line in this one. Next up, we got the New York Mets taking on the Boston Red Sox. We got Clay Holmes and Walker Buehler as the starters. Now, the Red Sox have been excellent in Walker Buehler starts this year, and they've won his last 5 games. A lot of those were blowout wins, and they scored a lot of runs. And Buehler himself has given up 3 runs or fewer in each of his last 4 starts. But you got Clay Holmes on the other side, who's been really sharp for the Mets this season. They've also done very well in his starts this year in terms of winning games. And I just think the Mets are the superior lineup with the better bullpen. I think this is going to be a close game. Not my favorite game on the board, but if I had to lean, I'd take the Mets, but I'd rather just watch this one as a fan. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Houston Astros. No official starter right now for Houston, but we should see Zach Littell going for the Rays. And he's pitched well as of late. Now, I don't love the fact that he's still given up a good amount of sharp contact. We saw 3 home runs given up to the Blue Jays in his last start, 2 home runs to the Yankees back on May 3rd, 2 more against the Diamondbacks on April 22nd. But the common denominator with all those starts where they were on the road, and his last home start against the Milwaukee Brewers was 6 innings of 2-run ball in a 4-3 Rays win. And the Rays have won his last 4 starts. He's given up 3 runs or fewer in his last 5 starts. I think Littell is definitely pitching a lot better than he was in the first couple of starts of the year, and he's been a lot more efficient. His control's been a lot better. Only 4 walks combined his last 5 starts. I think Littell's going to be the better option in this game. The Astros have not done great offensively on the road this year. I think Littell can do good enough. Maybe not a perfect outing. Like I said, the sharp contact is still a concern for me, and at Steinbrenner Field that can be a problem. But I think the Rays will back him up, and I think the Rays win this game. So give me Tampa Bay on the money line. Next up, we got the Texas Rangers taking on the New York Yankees. We've got Patrick Corbin and Will Warren as the starters. I think it's actually a good time to be a New York Yankees fan. I mean, you're 5 games up in the AL East, and this was a team that Obviously lost the World Series in pretty dominant fashion for the Dodgers, and you lose Juan Soto. The Juan Soto sweepstakes really consumed the media attention in the offseason. You lose Soto. You lose Garrett Cole for the year with the injury. You lose Luis Gil's not going to be ready for the regular season. A lot to be pessimistic about if you're a Yankees fan on paper going into this year. And a lot of people had the Yankees, oh, they're going to finish third. They're going to finish second in the division. They're not the same team. They're not as strong as a team. Paul Goldschmidt's having a nice comeback year. Cody Bellinger, grand slam in the Subway Series, starting to heat up. We know Aaron Judge has been the best hitter in baseball. The Yankees are in first place in the division by 5 games over their rivals in the Red Sox. They just took down their rivals in the Subway Series in 2 of 3 games where they really should have swept that series. I thought they were the better team in all 3 games. And a guy like Will Warren's starting to improve his game quite a bit, and he's been sharp as of late. Yankees have won his last 2 starts. I think there's a lot to like right now as a Yankees fan. Also, beyond that, DJ LeMahieu making his season debut a couple of games ago. He's looked really sharp. He's already got a home run. We've seen DJ really struggle at the dish the last couple of years, or inconsistent. The injuries have piled up. He's putting the ball in play with some pep. He's made some sharp contact, some good at bats. And when you look at this matchup against Patrick Corbin, he's got great numbers against Corbin in their career matchups. 63 plate appearances. He's 22 of 58. That's a 380 average, basically. A 793 slugging percentage, natural slugging percentage, 713 expected slugging percentage, 3 triples and 6 bombs with only 4 strikeouts, 6% strikeout rate against Corbin. He's basically crushed Corbin in their career, and I think that DJ LeMahieu is definitely worth a look for over total bases, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and potentially a home run as well. I think the Yankees get to Corbin. I know he's been really sharp this season, but there are some big-time regression concerns when you look at the expected numbers. And I mentioned Will Warren's really in good form. The Rangers have not been the best on the road offensively. I like the Yankees in this game, and I think the Yankees, like I said, it's a good time to be a Yankees fan. Next up, we got the San Diego Padres taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Dylan Cease and Chris Bassett are the projected starters. Chris Bassett's given up a lot of sharp contact and a lot of base hits, really, in his last 5 starts or so. We saw him give up 6 home runs in 3 games combined between the Yankees, Guardians, and Angels starts. And his last game against the Rays was a lot better, but still give up 7 base hits in 5 2/3. He's given up 7+ hits in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's missing some bats. He's getting out of jams, but still a lot of base runners. The whip is up there at 1.27. It was actually a lot lower at the beginning of the year, so that's a concern. When you look at Dylan Cease really improving his game after a tough start to the season, and the Blue Jays offense has been so inconsistent. They've been good against righties in May, but we saw in that Tiger series, they were really disappointing, especially in the big pressure cooker moments where they could have had the big hit to take some of those games. So I think that Dylan Cease is the better option right now in this game. He's got 19 strikeouts his last 2 starts combined, with just 3 runs given up. I'm going to roll with the Padres in this game on the money line. I think they bounced back from a pretty brutal rivalry weekend series with the Mariners. Give me San Diego in this one. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. We got Tomoyuki Sugano and Logan Henderson as the starters. And I know Sugano's pitched well on the road this season, but I just can't expect 29 strikeouts in 52 2/3 innings to really be able to hold up a 3.08 ERA in this, in this day and age in Major League Baseball. It's one thing to be pitched to contact, but we saw him give up 2 home runs in his last start against the Twins, 4 runs given up and a 4-0 loss. The Orioles' lineup's not been there to back him up. The bullpen's not been there. I think Henderson's a much better option. He's earning a ton of missed bats in his last couple of games. I'm going to roll with the Brewers in this one on the money line at home. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the Twins. We got Gavin Williams and Chris Paddock as the starters. Now, Gavin Williams is missing a lot of bats as of late, but his expected ERA is still above 5 on the season. His ERA on the road is above 5 as well this year, 18 2/3, 13 walks on the road. That's just not going to cut it against a Twins team that is shorthanded right now offensively, but is still playing good baseball overall. And Chris Paddock's really improved his game in his last few starts. He's pitching deep into ball games. He's getting outs, and we've seen him have a sub-3 ERA at Target Field this year. I'm going to roll the Minnesota Twins in this one on the money line. Next up, the Seattle Mariners and the Chicago White Sox. No official starter right now for Seattle, but Bryce Wilson should be going for Chicago. I'm going to lean towards the Mariners right now on the run line. I just don't think Wilson's a great option to start this game. 7 runs and 3 home runs given up in his last start at Great American Ballpark against the Cincinnati Reds. Just not a competitive starting pitcher in my opinion. Seattle's had a great weekend series. I think their offense is good enough in this one to win and cover that run line. So I'll lean towards Seattle laying the 1.5. Next up, we got the Detroit Tigers taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Tarek Skubal and Eric Fedde are the projected starters. Skubal does not have a lot of experience with his current Cardinals lineup, but in the small sample size and the limited work against the St. Louis roster, he's got good numbers with a low xWOB at 240. And the Cardinals, in the month of May against left-handed pitching, ranked 18th in baseball, which isn't miserable, but it's a 650 team OPS, which is just not great. So I think Skubal can put together a quality start. I think the Tigers can get to Fedde. They've been great against righties in the month of May. They've got good numbers against Fedde in the career matchups, a 534 expected slugging percentage, high strikeout rate for Fedde, but I think the Tigers can get to him for a few. Give me Detroit in this one on the run line on the road. Next up, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Colorado Rockies. We got Jesus Luzardo and Antonio Senzatella as the starters. Now, I could see Luzardo struggling a bit in this game at Coors Field, not a ton of Coors Field experience, but I still think he'll be the much better option in this one. I think he gets a lot of run support against Senzatella and this Rockies bullpen. I thought the last game for Senzatella against the Rangers was a decent spot for him to at least pitch pretty well to keep the game under the total and give the Rockies a chance to compete, but he was not good at all. It was 4 2/3, 6 runs, 4 walks, a home run to go with it in a blowout loss, and they've lost a lot of his starts this year. A lot of them have been run line losses as well, including the last 4 games. So I got to roll with the Phillies in this one, lay the 1.5 runs and maybe 2.5 runs on the road. Next up, we get the Kansas City Royals and the San Francisco Giants. Michael Lorenzen and Hayden Birdsong are the projected starters. Now, we've mentioned that Lorenzen's been great at Kauffman Stadium, but not on the road. He's got a sub-1 ERA at Kauffman. He's got an ERA above 5 on the road. It's 5.35 and 33 2/3. We saw him pitch on the road against the Astros in his last start. He went 7 1/3, but gave up 4 runs, and a home run ended up being a 4-3 Astros win. I can't trust him on the road in this spot against a Giants team that, whether they take the lead early or find the lead late, they're just finding ways to win ball games. A lot of walk-off wins and comeback wins already this season. Birdsong, I think, is a good option to start this game. I think they have a good bullpen behind them. I'm going to roll with San Francisco on the money line at Oracle Park. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Athletics. We got Kyle Hendricks and Gunnar Hoagland as the starters. Now, I know Hoagland gave up 3 home runs his last start to the Dodgers, but that was the Dodgers. I think he bounces back in this game. I think he's got a lot of upside. I like the fact that he can miss some bats, earn those strikeouts. And I think that he's a much better option compared to Kyle Hendricks, who we saw had a real chance to get out of a jam against San Diego last game against Xander Bogaerts, and then just left a pitch right down the middle for a big home run that ended up being the only runs needed for San Diego in yet another win with Hendricks on the other side. The Angels have lost 4 of his last 5 starts. He's given up at least 1 home run in all 5 of those starts. And I just think that the A's take this game. I think they get on the board early and hold on to a win. So give me the A's on the money line and run line. Next up, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. We've got Ryan Nelson and Yoshinobu Yamamoto as the starters. Now, Yamamoto did not pitch well against Arizona in the start on May 8th, giving up 5 runs and 2 home runs, but I still think he's one of the better pitchers in the National League. I think he bounces back in this game. And, Ryan Nelson, I think, eventually could be a good option in this Diamondbacks rotation, but we've not really seen him as a starting pitcher this year. We saw one start against the Mets on May 5th where he gave up 2 runs, 4 walks, and a home run in 4 1/3 innings, had 70 pitches through those 4 1/3 in a loss. I just can't trust him in this game. Even though he's got good numbers against the current Dodgers lineup, not many starting pitchers can say that right now. But I just think LA's too much in this game. I think they win this game and cover the run line. Not my favorite game on the board, but I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs with the Dodgers. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in Major League Baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, it's Ron Romanelli. Good luck.